How's it going, everybody? How's it going? Other states, back Texas, my state, as they defy Biden and add more razor wire to the border. This standoff, I understand why the standoff is going off, but like I said, there's certain parallels to this and the Civil War. I'm not saying it's in that territory, but there's similarities, there's parallels. That's all I'm saying. But with that being said, we're going to get into the news. We're going to go to my favorite news site, which is grounds.news. I tend to like it because it just gets to the point. So several Republican governors, including Glenn Youngkin and Rob DeSantis, expressed support for Texas Governor Greg Abbott's defense of the state constitutional right to self-defense. Texas refused to move the razor wire from its border, claiming it slowed illegal immigration. The Supreme Court ruled in favor that the Biden administration had the authority to remove the wire. Abbott accused the federal government of breaking the compact. Should that be the contract, or who knows? Compact between U.S. and states, while the Democrat criticized his use of the National Guard. That is the skinny. There's one center. I'm not going to read the Hill. I'm just going to go to Fox News. I'm not going to go to Fox News. I'm going to go to the Hill. I am not signing up for a free account to read your stories. I'm sorry, Fox. I'm just not going to do it. Governor backs Abbott in border standoff by Nick Robertson. January the 25th, 24, 11:25 a.m. Eastern. Republican governors are backing Texas Governor Abbott, Republican, in his standoff against the federal government over border authority. On Tuesday, the National Guard appeared to ignore a Supreme Court decision and continue building razor wire barriers on the U.S.-Mexican border, preventing the Federal Border Patrol from doing their jobs. In a statement Wednesday, Abbott justified the actions by claiming his authority to combat an invasion of the state supersedes federal law. He might be. Let's hear Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma, Kristi Noem of South Dakota, Ron DeSantis of Florida, Glenn Youngkin of Virginia, and Brian Kemp of Georgia have all said that they supported Abbott's action. The Constitution really made the states powerless to defend themselves against an invasion that would have been ratified in the first place, and Texas would have never joined the Union when it did, DeSantis said on X, formerly Twitter. Texas is upholding the law while Biden is flouting it. Youngkin added that Biden administration has turned every state into a border state, and Abbott is doing what the border officials refuse to do to secure our border. Stitt, Noem, and Kemp also said that their state stands with Texas. The federal government has claimed in court filings that Texas National Guard has physically prevented the Border Patrol from doing its job on certain parts of the Rio Grande as it blocks off portions of the border previously used to process migrants. There's your issue. You're not supposed to process migrants except at the port of entry. This is the reason why Texas took over that part that's on the border, because you weren't preventing people from coming over, you were processing them. And that's not a port of entry. And these aren't migrants, these are illegal immigration or illegal aliens. Some people get upset when people use terms illegal aliens. Alien is something that is not from the source, which is immigration. Immigration consists of aliens. They're not from this country. Therefore, they are alien. They're not known to the country, as another term to be used for it. Illegal is that they're breaking the law by entering our country illegally. They're crossing the border outside the points of entry. Therefore, they are an illegal alien or illegal immigration. I don't care if there's a negative connotation towards it or being aggressive because you don't like the words illegal immigration and you prefer undocumented person. You could change the words that whatever you want to call it. It doesn't change the fact that they're still an illegal alien or illegal immigrant. There was someone ranting on the radio on my way home about this, but the federal government has claimed in court filings that the claim that Texas officials can supersede federal authority has sparked calls for Democratic President Biden to nationalize the Texas National Guard and force them to follow the court's decision and federal law. I've been saying this for a really long time. I know I said this the other day or the other week when I've been mentioning it. Biden can put a stop to Abbott by federally authorized or nationalizing the Texas National Guard, which means that it puts the Texas National Guard under the authority of Joe Biden, which means that the federal government will be paying for the Texas National Guard to be down there, which is a bold move. This is the only other move that Joe Biden has, because Texas is going to keep doing what Texas does. Now, the question is the Texas National Guard going to follow his order? Or will they still follow Texas orders? Now, there's some legal issues. If the Texas National Guard refuses to follow Joe Biden's order, they could all be court-martialed and get a Chapter 5 out of the military. I think it's Chapter 5, which is Chapter 3. I forget what it is. Which is whatever it is, this dishonorable discharge from the military. And I don't know if that's the point where they want to go. Democratic Texas Rep. Joaquin Castro and Greg Casar have advocated for nationalizing the state guard. Well, both of them could go pound sand for us all I care. Abbott's statement on Wednesday specifically claims that the federal government has broken the compact. Well, I guess it is compact. Go ahead and learn something here. Compact. So I thought that would be contract. Really? We're not going to search quickly? Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm sure that will go. Oh, don't want you. I wanted you with the states justifying ignoring federal laws and the Supreme Court. The so-called compact theory is a rejected idea of state supremacy used to justify secession of the Confederate States during the Civil War. The Supreme Court repeatedly shot down the legal theory in the early years of the U.S. when it was first proposed to nullify the federal legislation during President John Adams' time in office. Like I said, there's similarities there. Similarities. I'm just curious. See, is my internet down? Doesn't look like it. Could be. See, your home. It could be, or it could be just that. Who knows? Anyways, here's some Fox News. How long have we going? Let's see. Who's willing to stand with Texas governor and defy the current administration? Are we willing to fight the abuse of the Constitution with our votes and our life? Not only should Biden be removed, but his entire administration. Are we the people willing to do what it takes so that others may live free as farmers of our nation's intended? Should we all think about what we're willing to do this time in political upheaval? I mean, that's scary thoughts. Let's hear Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee every state in the Union of the Republic form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on the application of legislature or the acts of legislation cannot be convened against domestic violence. Let's see here. This is dangerous times. Let's see here. This is dangerous times. I can't remember when a single state had to fight against the federal government because it was breaking the law and hurting our country hurting our country. But those vocal governors need to act, not just in voice support. They need to send their National Guard along with other states who are tired of Joe flouting the law to help Governor stop the invasion. I mean, those states already send their National Guard to our border. I don't know if they're still there, but they have in the past. You understand that Joe Biden is the commander in chief of the National Guard units, all of them. You do understand that the National Guard serves at the pleasure of the governor, but all Joe Biden has to do is sign a decree and he can direct any and all of them to ignore the governors. And there's the oath. I'm not going to read it. I already read it. Let's hear. The oath is defending the state from enemies. Mexico is an enemy because Biden can take over by nationalizing the Guard. Kennedy did that when George Wallace defied the Supreme Court. Maybe this is more in line with civil rights era and integration of the ethnic backgrounds of the whites and the blacks. Maybe this is what we're seeing. Maybe not Civil War. Maybe Civil War parallels are a little too extreme. I forgot about when Kennedy did that for George Wallace, forcing desegregation. Here, I noticed you didn't say that Biden isn't the enemy. Let's see here. Assuming that the feds end up removing the wire, someone should get it on film. What a campaign commercial to have clips of Marcus, Biden, and Kirby saying that they need funds to secure the border, while the feds are shown removing barriers with groups of illegals crossing freely over the border. It's coming, isn't it? I truly hope for the best, prepare for the worst moments. I don't think Abbott is a rock star. I think he's a politician. Let's see here. Is that Supreme Court? Oh, Supreme Court is a disgrace. I don't understand the ruling against protecting our border. Biden didn't listen to them when they said that student loan forgiveness was unconstitutional. I guess we don't have to listen to this. I understand the Supreme Court's decision. I really do. I think it has more to do with protecting the institution opposed to protecting what's right and wrong. Protecting the institution that the federal government has the sole authority means that in this particular issue, the federal government has ruled and they don't want to set a precedent or open the door for something else outside of immigration to destroy the fabric, what makes America, America. I may be paraphrasing a little too much, so I kind of understand where they're coming from. But the second point is definitely on point. But the thing is, Biden didn't ignore the Supreme Court ruling. He found a poorly written law and exploited it. Let's see here. DeSantis vows to continue sending personnel and assets to the Texas border. It looks like he's a good governor, just a lousy candidate for president. Let's see here. The state do have the right to defend themselves against an invasion and bribe them. Derek, as he has allowed this complicit, allowing the invasion. So your feds have to step up a notch and not only refuse to prevent illegal entry, but also actively use tax money to prevent the enforcement of its own laws. Isn't it bizarre that the supposed president of the United States is fighting not to secure the border? He's not the president of the United States, he's the president of the globalists, and he could care less about American people. Let's see, if the Texas National Guard was federalized, then we would have to call up the militia. Is that what you really want? Ooh, National Guard can take off their uniforms and be deputized by Texas Rangers, still work for Texas. There's an interesting concept right here. Let's see here. This is loaded. To thrust, to drive, to pack, to press closely together, join firmly, consolidate, as part of which is to compose a body, condense, to utilize, connect firmly. Make firm. See here. Let's see here. Noun, structure, frame, an agreement, a contract between parties in general, and any convenient or contracting between individual members of a community or nations. Interesting. So, compact is also another word for a contract between parties or an agreement. Interesting. Kind of never knew that, which is good. But yeah, I think I've rambled long enough. It's 15 minutes here. So it's interesting now. Maybe we're seeing parallels between the civil rights, where Biden federalizes the National Guard to prevent Abbott from preventing them to have access to the border. Maybe that's more in line. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place with this. I do apologize. But with that being said, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are about this issue. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.